now I decide finish the Spirits book, and the last time I finished this was chapter 12, book 3. I will continue this in this chapter 12, book 3, chapter 12, Passions, is the last chapter 12 from this book 3. In the Spirit's book have 4 books. I am in 3, I stopped this 3. And only will last book 4 that are so not great. The passions then. Since the principle of our passions originates in nature, are they evil per se? No, the answer of the spirits. Remember you that book from the spirits is not written by Kardec, Allan Kardec, no. Allan Kardec was a pseudonym from Hippolyte Léon Denis Arrivey, a French scientist. He took classes to mathematics, biology, physics, and botanic. Is botanic, I think, yes. For matters, he write a book from these matters and give class, was an excellent teacher, was disciple from Pestalozzi, a great philosopher in education, in more or less 1865, more or less 1850, and in this date, in this epoch, in this time, Kardec started to make researches, and he was nominated by spirits in various parts of the world with various sensitivities distributed in the world. Kardec was discovered that these spirits came to him how a scientist, and he made tests to see if spirits had knowledge about physics, and they had, because this Kardec started to believe in answers. And this spirit said to Kardec, you can ask to us, the spirit said to Kardec, you can ask us your doubts. We will answer for through various sensitivities in the world. They will send to you letters about your answer. You will analyze the answers, and you will discover that us sent to you. And this way Kardec started to make. He have an interview in a magazine named Spirits Magazine. And this magazine, he posted all these questions, posted his researches, and ever he received the one answer to a question by various sensitivities in the world that don't communicate each other. It wasn't how this way you get your phone and discover, no, in those epoch, I think only have telegraphy. Then people don't get communicated so easy how today, okay? Because this Kardec analyze the answers from various, distributed from various sensitives, and search the same answer that arrived to him from various in the world. The question about passions. After this enormous work from Kardec, he started to organize the books. This was the first book. This publication have a reason, didactic reason. Then it's good you discover the right sequence of publications, and you start to read, if you have interest, start to read in the same date, in order of these publications. You will understand and you will have a great knowledge about all doubts you until now had about reincarnation, about what happened when we go to other side, about what I am making in this planet, etc. Since the principle of our passions originates in nature, are they evil per se? No, passion is the result of excess brought about by the will. The principle itself was given to humans for their good, the passions. The passion can lead them to the green things, to the great things. Sorry. This abuse of them is what makes them evil, the abuse of passions. How may we define the limit at which the passions cease to be good or bad? The passions are like a horse that is useful when controlled, but dangerous when it controls. You can recognize when a passion becomes harmful at the moment in which you cease to govern it, and when it results in any injury to yourselves or others. And have a comment from Kardec. The passions are living that increase humans' powers, then fold and help them to fulfill the designs of providence. However, if instead of directing their passions, they allow themselves to be directed by them, they fall into excess, and the very power which in their hands could have done good falls upon them and crushes them instead. All the passions have their principle in a sentiment or need of nature. Therefore, the principle of the passions is not evil, because it rests upon one of the providential conditions of our existence. Passion per se is the exaggeration of a need or sentiment. It's in the excess and not in the cause. And such excess becomes evil when it results in some kind of evil. Every passion that brings us neither to the animal nature takes us further from the spiritual nature. every sentiment that lifts us above. The animal nature announces the predominance of spirit over matter and draws us closer to perfection, is a comment from Kardec. Could humans always overcome their evil tendencies through their own efforts? Yes, and sometimes with very little effort, sometimes with very little effort. What they lack is willpower. How few of you make such an effort, however? How few of you make such an effort? However, the Spirit said, how few of you make such an effort, however. Can human find in spirits an effective aid to help them overcome their passions? Can human find in spirit an effective aid to help them overcome their passions? The answer, if you sincerely pray, to pray you must put down your pride. If you sincerely pray to God and your guardian angel, good spirits will certainly come to your aid. That is their mission. Aren't there passions? There are other things. Before I continue, I read in Spirit's book that people in excessive miserable don't remember to ask God. I don't believe it when I read, but the book says this. People don't accept born in a bad conditions. Then they revolt because they compare his life with other that have a palace. But these other that have all this work in past incarnations with your mind suffering a lot to get developing your mind to develop conditions alone, construct your mind to get a policy. People don't see this and people revolt to God. Then his conditions turn bad, bad, bad. This have another motive, because people that command a great nation must have wisdom to don't let others in miserable, totally miserable. This is an error of the diligence and society too. Not only people that don't ask God have these two principal motives, because miserable society is not created by God in this planet. No. If you sincerely pray to God and your guardian angel, good spirits will certainly come to your aid. That is their mission. Aren't there passions that are so alive and irresistible that the will is powerless to overcome them? Aren't there passions that are so alive and irresistible that the will of powerless to overcome them? The answer, there are many who say, I want to, but their will is only on their lips. In Portuguese we say, is the mouth, is out of the mouth only. Their will is only on their lips. They want, but they are very satisfied at not being able to. When they believe they cannot overcome their passions, it's because their spirit is pleased by them as a result of its own impurity. Those who try to restrain their passions understand their own spiritual nature, and overcoming them is a triumph of the spirit over matter. What is the most effective means of fighting the predominance of the corporeal nature? A bit answer. Practicing self-denial. Practicing self-denial. Selfishness. Of all the vices which may we regard as the root, we have already told you many times. The answer is, we have already told you many times, selfishness. All evil derives from it. Study all the vices and you will see that selfishness, the vices are the addiction. Study all that addiction and you will see that selfishness is at the bottom of them all. As much as you may struggle against them, you will never uproot them as long as you have not destroyed their cause. Let all your efforts stand toward that end, because selfishness is the true scourge of society. Those in this life who want to approach moral perfection must uproot from their heart every sentiment of selfishness. For selfishness is incompatible with justice, love, and charity. It neutralizes all other qualities. The selfishness neutralizes all other qualities. Since selfishness is based on personal interests, it seems difficult to entirely uproot it from the human heart. Will we ever be able to do so? Is another question. Since selfishness is based on personal interests, it seems difficult to entirely uproot it from the human heart. Will we ever be able to do so? And the answer, as humans become enlightened about spiritual things, they attach less value to material things. Next, it's necessary to reform the human institutions that entertain and excite the passions. This depends on education. Since selfishness is inherent to the human species, won't it always be a permanent obstacle to the reign of absolute goodness upon the earth? The answer, it's certain that selfishness is your greatest evil, but it's connected to the unpurified nature of the spirits incarnated on the earth, and not to the human species per se. It's a question of experience of the spirit, the level of experiences. upon purifying themselves over successive incarnations, spirits get rid of selfishness just as they get rid of other impurities. For example, you have so much money, but someone of your family have an incurable sick, and it will turn of you so much money, and you are so expert, you are still a selfishness person, so selfless, and you choose to put this person in an asylum and let them to your own resources and forget this. More important is your body, is your pleasure. And then the time pass, those familiar death, you will death too. And you arrive without this body. And your yes or not, supposing you don't wake up your conscience to the bed you let other person, but you will return with those person rich, letting you the same way in asylum. And you will feel so pain, alone, sick, without resource, abandoned. How much fathers I saw when I was working with children with limit. What more I saw was fathers going out of this mother and his son and let them alone without resources, and a mother with a sick son. How much I saw this in my life. And supposing this father that abandoned family return, how a son with his father rich that abandoned your mother and you will learn, and never more you will you will make this. Because you passed by this, you felt the difficulty and suffering of the situation. Nevermore, when a spirit passes by this, he grow to never more make this to other. And this way, God will, step by step, make the spirit grow. No one will be stopped. Sorry. Have spirits that know that must learn, but they don't want because they prefer stop it. God will let this spirit stop it until it's finished this time and come a great quantity of fire, quantity of water, and make the spirit walk again. Because our destiny, fatal destiny, is not that. No, is grow to happiness. This is God. This is God. God don't put no one in precipice. God no put no one in suffering. But the spirit is all forgot God, forget, and resolve that he, with own capability, will be happy forgetting God. And it's this. We can grow without God. or without ignoring a great force out of us. No one gets development without suffering, ignoring the great intelligence of the universe. Sorry, it's not possible. And sometimes the spirit get resolve, give extremely effort to his own ego. This is the start to spirit not fall, but stopping his evolution and get more suffering. Because in evolution, only have two ways. Or you go by love, obeying this knowledge and this wisdom, or you go with a great suffering. Don't have other way, only these two, love or suffering. You choose. God let you choose. God don't like puppets manipulated. God don't make this. Only evil spirits want to turn other slaves. Only evil spirits make this. Independent of color of skin. Since selfishness is inherent to the human species, won't it always be a permanent obstacle to the reign of absolute goodness upon the earth? Let me see if I read totally answer. As humans become enlightened about spiritual things, they attach less value to material things. Next, it's necessary to reform the human institutions that entertain and excite the passions. This depends on education. And another question, since selfishness is inherent in the human species, won't it always be a permanent obstacle to the reign of absolute goodness upon the earth? It's certain that selfishness is your greatest evil, but it's connected to the unpurified nature of the spirits incarnated on the earth. Unpurified, the spirits don't have knowledge sufficient to suppose be without selfishness. Because the animal instincts are strong inside it. And in the question before that, they say education is necessary. Upon purifying themselves over successive incarnations, cause experience, spirit pass by the suffering that make others suffer, etc. Spirits get rid of selfishness just as they get rid of other impurities. On the earth, aren't there persons who are divested of selfishness and who practice charity? The spirits ask Kardec. They exist in greater number than you might think, but you know few of them because virtue doesn't seek to reveal itself in broad daylight. Is this? Other day I saw in a comment in a social net that if good was so there, how bad, how evil is there, the society would live with more justice, cause evil don't will appear so powerful, cause evil don't have power. They have there. This is the right. Cause it's still evil that a justice man or a goodness man, this evil are not that or other. These evil are turn free this spirit. And God let this cause arrive the day of this go out of this planet. No one has really, if you analyze, no one have the power of retire, but will have culpability to his intention. Yes, this intention of evil, of that other, God will punish. Not punish, but will give to this spiritual lesson that no more this evil will forget. And will arrive a time that spirit are tired to kill, and only suffering and no evolution. Then this spirit stopped this and start to practice the good. Is this way for wisdom and freedom? God can make the evil, transform it in good spirit. We in this planet must understand that don't will resolve that penalty. Don't will resolve. Because the spirit don't will learn nothing with this. The spirit must, ignorant spirit must have education. Must be isolated by society, because if you turn this spirit free, he will turn more great his debt, and his suffering will be so much great for years and centuries maybe. If you give education to the spirit, if you, by education, they say it here, education is necessary, work is necessary to the spirit. Then one day you will see this spirit regret. When a spirit regret, all things transformed in his life. All things. Is this the objective of a human being up on this evil spirit? Make him regret with work and education. That don't will resolve the problem. Will turn the problem so much great. And on the earth, aren't there persons who are divested of selfishness and who practice charity? They exist in greater number than you might think. But you know few of them, because virtue doesn't seek to reveal itself in broad daylight. If there is one, why wouldn't there be 10? If there are 10, why wouldn't there be 1,000? And so on. Far from decreasing selfishness, increases with civilization. Far from decreasing selfishness increases with civilization or civilization, which seems to excite and entertain it. How can the cause destroy the effect? This is a question from Kardec to spirits. Far from decreasing, selfishness increases with civilization, which seems to excite and entertain it. How can the cause is selfishness, destroy the effect, and excite and entertain of civilization? And they answer, the greater the evil, the more heinous it becomes. It has been necessary for selfishness to produce much evil in order to make you understand the need to uproot it. When human beings have been freed from the selfishness that dominates them, they will live as brothers and sisters. They will not do evil to one another and will mutually help one another through the fraternal sentiment of solidarity. The strong will then be the support and not the oppressor of the weak. And no longer will anyone lack what is needed because all will practice the law of justice. This is the kingdom of the good that the spirits are in charge of preparing. This since 1860, more or less. I think this book was written in 1860, I don't remember now, more or less this date. Since this date was saying this, was saying this. This is the kingdom of the good that the spirits are in charge of preparing. What is the means for destroying selfishness? Of all human imperfections, the most difficult to uproot is selfishness because it's connected to the influence of matter, from which human beings will so close to their origin cannot free themselves. Is still so close to their origin cannot free themselves. Everything concours to sustain its influence. Your laws, your social organizations, and your education. Selfishness will be weakened with the predominance of the moral life over the material life, and especially with the understanding that Spiritism gives you concerning your true future state. The future, which is no longer distorted by allegorical fiction. So, see the movies there are. See the movies that are in cinema. When it's well understood and identified with customs and beliefs, Spiritism will transform habits. Because the Spiritism is the truth. Spiritism is the third revelation. The first was Old Testament. The second is the New Testament by Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ said, I will invite to you a consolator. Is this how consolation you feel to know, to have absolute certain that your parents are dead in another place? Is marvelous. Is marvelous. Principally if you are in a house of elders, alone and all your parents go, principally this, you are happy because you know when you go, they are there. How much consolation is this? Your wife that gone so early, your husband that goes so early, they are there waiting for you. It's marvelous, marvelous to one passed by this, I said. Ask someone that loses a loved person. Ask him to see what he or her will say to you about, have certain they are there. Spiritism will transform habits, usages, and social relations. Selfishness is founded upon the importance of the personality. When well understood, I repeat, Spiritism enables you to see things from such an evolved point of view that the sentiment of the personality somehow disappears before the doctrine's immensity. The doctrine's immensity. Upon destroying this self-importance and showing its real nature, Spiritism necessarily combats selfishness. It's the shock that humans experience from the selfishness of others that usually make them selfish in turn, because they feel the need to put themselves on the defensive. Is a real truth. It's the shock that humans experience from the selfishness of others that usually makes them selfish in turn, because they feel the need to put themselves on the defensive. Seeing that others think only of themselves and not of them, they are in turn led to be concerned about themselves more than about others. Is it reciprocity? Let the principle of charity and fraternity be the basis of social institutions and the legal relations between nations and individuals. And all will think less of themselves when they see that others are doing so too. Thus, they will undergo the moralizing influence of example and contact. In the light of the present overflowing of selfishness, true virtue is needed to sacrifice one's own personality for the sake of others, who generally don't recognize it. It's to those above all who possess this virtue that the kingdom of heaven is opened. Come to me, I don't know from what people thinking now about me. Oh, she talk about fraternity, but to me, she was aggressive. Yes, because you that are thinking this now, attach me, because I think this way. I put me in the skin of other in suffering. You know, you attach me without thinking in my suffering. Oh, if I cut my hand, you come here and put an acid. What you want, I make. I will make this to this make me suffering, of course. I'm not making this to you or other. What I'm making here? putting other to suffering. No, my intention here is totally contrary. You that are thinking this about me now, okay? Put the hand sometimes that never you make this in your conscience and not make this to me, because I don't make this to you, okay? So good. Continue here. I will get in a point. Let the principle of charity and fraternity be the basis of social institutions and the legal relations between nations and individuals, and all will think less of themselves when they see that others are doing so too. Thus they will undergo the moralizing influence of example and contact. And I custom think to evil spirits that attach me, I think the follow. God give to them exactly who give to me. Experience, observation, and what I make to other will make to me. What I make bad to other, this will return to me. But sincerely, I have absolute certain that evil spirits don't believe in it. They believe that they are strong. Oh, they can destruct and no one see. It's an illusion. Because back on these bad spirits have the angels. See, all of them. He only permit them make the bad to his pupils. Angels make this. See those pupils, and only block it when the evil spirit want to make so much evil, more than this pupil will support. Where is the effort of the evil? No one. It's an illusion you believe that evil have effort. Don't have. They are only evil and stopped in evolution with great frustration and want take you with them with slave. Is this they want? Because they are slaves of others. Is a great current people, slaves his own self first. And don't want to grow. What? Lose the time with this type. But we must desire and ask to God, give light to them. One day they will change, but let them in hands of God. Don't put your hand in this. No. Don't devolve bad to the other. I don't make this. If you attach me and pain, I will put in first a medicine. I will believe that this will be good and go out. I don't will stop to think, oh, why he made this? No, don't have more time to this. I don't have more time to this, sincerely. Then I forget. Let the fools believe they are strong. They want to think this. Let this. To these fools, don't be this way. Don't think you have effort. I don't think I am strong. Never. Strong is only one, God. And his angels, absolute, evoluted, all they get command all this evil. How puppet. but they let the children grow. Angels let the children, evil is a children from God. They grow. How a mother let they play is this. It's not more than this. Sincerely is this. Let the principle of charity and fraternity be the basis of social institutions and the legal relations between nations and individuals. And all will think less or of themselves when they see that others are doing so too. Thus, they will undergo the moralizing influence of example and contact. In the light of the present overflowing of selfishness, true virtue is needed to sacrifice one's own personality for the sake of others, who generally don't recognize it. It's to those above all who possess this virtue that the kingdom of the heaven is opened. For them especially is reserved the bliss of the elect. And we must believe in it. You don't want to be better. I want to be more and more and more happy. I want this. I don't want to be suffering. Come, go, suffering. No, this is not good. We must want it. Much more happiness, much more. God is abundance. And ask to God, learn to have more abundance. Is this? In the light of the present overflowing of selfishness, true virtue is needed to sacrifice one's own personality for the sake of others, who generally don't recognize it. It's to those above all who possess his virtue that the kingdom of heaven is opened. For them especially is reserved the bliss of the elect, because I can truly tell you that on the day of judgment, those who have only the of themselves will be cast aside and will suffer abandonment. But have people don't have importance to this. I give total importance to this. It's my life, and it's cause this I pass to you. It's all my whole life. In this incarnation, I live it, and I live this difficulty, an attachment, and nor that me will change this. No. How much we act and let selfishness don't command, how much you gain strength, how much you have out control, not control other. Who believe in it? No one can control other, not with suffering, not with happiness, no. You only can control ourselves. We only can control ourselves. Don't have a disillusion to control the situation external or other. We don't can this. God can control what we don't control. External, let in hands of God. Internal, you control. Then you have a strong link with God. This is the secret of life, the game of life. Control you, control your mind, linked by God. You have the power. How? He-Man. Oh, her woman. He-Man, she woman. I think is this. I don't know so right. But thank you, your presence. And I hope that I passed something, not so my ignorance, but this wisdom is perfect. The third revelation. Until there, the next, and thank you, your presence. God bless all of you.